Jewels and Gems, welcome back to another Vantage Point Pre-Talk. I'm your lady, Azandi Malinki, and here we cultivate your mind for the jewels of the soul. With that being said, I won't keep you long today, but I do want to say, if you're bothered by truth, if truth is unsettling to you, then this may not be the video for you. Spin the block, come back next week, same time, same place, a new video will be up. And I say that with all love, seriously, all love, all respect. I love you guys, and my intention is only to make us better. But in that, truth must be told, although it may be bitter to others. So I'm saying that to say, this video may not be for you particularly, but the next one will be. Talk about this Bible verse for a second before our next episode on generational curses. And this video may air a little late, but I just want to talk about this verse quickly. You know, the Bible says that the wickedness, and God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination and the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. See, if I can manipulate your imagination. Let me tell you what imagination means. And I think that's important to define a word. Imagination means faculty of the mind that forms and manipulates images. So if I can manipulate your imagination, I can manipulate your perception. If I can manipulate your imagination, see, we didn't have to imagine. As African people, we visualize. We had visualization. We see visions, right? But someone gave us their imagination. When you look at the Greeks and the Romans, who we may seem ancient, but these are the same family lines of the people running the world, right? They're all coming from these group of people. And these people had nothing. They had no resources. They had nothing. They had to imagine. We came from rich areas with gold and all these resources. They had nothing. So they had no choice but to imagine. In every fairy tale, they say once upon a time, somewhere long, far away. All these starts to these stories, right? Somewhere far, far away in a land. They have to set your imagination. That's why they give it to children, because in children, you can set that in a child. And from age 0 to 7, from when they were born to 7, these children are being molded, being shaped, and we're setting how they think, we're setting their perception, and we're automatically giving them these imaginations of fairy tales and things that are not real. And because we are giving our children things that are not real, because we as children that are now adults, we're given things that were not real, it's so easy for us to believe things that are not real. It's so easy for us to take the falsities. It's so easy for us to take the illusions. It's so easy for us to take the lies and believe them to be real. And the only reason I'm passionate about this, you gotta excuse me today. The only reason I'm passionate about this is because, you know, sometimes I have conversations with people that I love, and we all see differently, right? And that's okay. I have no problem with that. But I just wish that we would take the time to do more research, to do more digging, to do more homework. We did homework on the weed to figure out what kind of weed it was when we were smoking. Did this come from this tree? Was this, what's that, the kush? Yeah, what that make you feel low? That make you feel high? Yo, you got this drink? Yeah, the vodka make you feel like this, the brandy make you feel like that. We did homework on weed and on drinks and on parties and on football and on basketball, and I love my sports, right? Don't get me wrong, but we do our homework on everything else. But when it comes to our souls, when it comes to our spirit, when it comes to our children, we don't do the homework. We don't do the research. Nobody wants to dig deep. When you start bringing up language and saying, let's look in the Hebrew, let's look in the Arabic, let's look in the Greek, let's look at, nobody wants to go that deep, but we want to take what the Canaanite has given us in English, the one whose imagination is so far-fetched, the one who had nothing. We want to take this man's word for it, but we can't look for ourselves. Again, I was saying, we did not have to imagine. We visualized. We had visions. We had resources. We had time to do science. We were the greatest of scientists. We had time to be doctors, to be agriculturalists, and yes, all of that came from us. We had time. But the people who had nothing can only imagine. And so he took his corrupted imagination, the people that came from doing the original orgies, look it up. Look at all the rituals that they did of just debased things. Yeah, the Hellenistic rituals of just debased practices, men on men. It's just disgusting. And now we're doing it. So we took his imagination and made it our perception, and we believe it to be real. We believe it to be true. And it says that of man was great in the earth. And it says that every imagination and the thoughts of his heart was nothing but evil continually. Hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. That doesn't mean that evil is gone. It means that I no longer see evil as evil. The things that were evil 10 or 20 years ago are no longer evil today. The things that were evil even 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I don't know about 5 years ago, but the things that were evil, right, in my lifetime are no longer evil today. They have become normal. It says that Satan himself was transformed into an angel of light. This angel of light, right, meaning he's smart. People think that the devil is not smart. He's very smart, but he manipulates your emotions. He's smart enough to know. See, the angel of light doesn't have to eliminate evil. He just has to change the environment. They know to change the environment. So I don't have to take it out your environment. I just have to manipulate your environment. In order to change an environment, in order to alter an environment, he doesn't just go in and say, everybody believe this. No. Okay, I want to get into the church. Let me see. Let me take those gospel singers here, because they want to be famous, right? So let me offer them fame. Let me offer them the money, and I can use them. Let me put them in a room, get them to do some debased things. Now we got that over them, one. But let me put them in a room, get them to do some debased things. That's going to infuse into the music. The music is going to infuse into the people, into the environment, and thus the shift or the change. They don't have to change you. They don't have to change him. They don't have to change individual. They have to change the environment. That's why they say we see no evil. Because if everybody is evil, if everybody is sinning, you can't see sin. If you're in a holy environment, then the sin comes in, you can notice it. Could today Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, what's the other one named Lotta, Glorilla, could they hide up amongst Aretha Franklin and all the greats? Can they go back with Patti LaBelle? Can they go back with any of those people? Right? Y'all know the legends. Can they hide amongst the legends? As soon as they walk in the room, that's a hoe. As soon as they walk in the room, and I'm not saying that anybody was perfect and they don't have their past, but they had a way of presenting themselves. They had a way of, if they were doing it, hiding it. They had a way, you understand? So it means that the environment, the world, everywhere you go, if everything is infused with sin and with evil, you don't see it because it's become normalized. Evil means that anything that has caused injury morally or physically. Well, we have a lot of moral injuries. We have a lot of change in our morals and our principles and how we think and the things that we allow ourselves to partake in, the things that we allow ourselves to do. How do we know? Because now when you reach a milestone in life, why is every milestone about debauchery? Like, why is every milestone when you get 18, now you can buy cigarettes? When you get 18, now you can drink, or 21, now you can drink. Every milestone in his society is about doing something harmful or causing moral injury to yourself. In our way of life today, even as atonists, every milestone is about becoming mature. It's about becoming wise. It's about preparing us for the world. It's about instilling intelligence. It's about, you understand, it's about intelligence. It's about seeing. It's about perceiving. It's about awareness. It's about knowing. It's about, It's about intellect, right? Because he makes us feel the more we move towards intellect, the less we are as people. If I let somebody go with doing something because I'm thinking about my family and I'm thinking about consequences, that means I let that slide. That means that you soft. That means that you a punk. That means that because I'm thinking about my family. So I had to start shifting the way that I thought, the way that I think about things. That I'm not letting go of myself because I'm being intelligent. I'm letting go of the lower part of me because I'm being intelligent. I'm letting go of his imagination. I'm letting go of his mindset. Because we have been trained to think like the white man. We have been trained to think like racist and white supremacists. We have been trained. We are their sons and daughters. We are their husbands and wives. Because you know why? We answer to them. The black woman today would answer faster to her master at the job or her boss at the job, that's Caucasian, that's a Canaanite, before she will to her man, that's Nubian, and that's black. And that's a fact. Not everybody, but most women today will answer faster to him. If your husband says to do something, why? I don't think that's it. I don't think we should. And ha-da-da, and ba-da-da. He tell you to do something. Yes, sir. Okay, sir. And don't tell me it's because you don't want to lose your job. So you rather say you don't want to lose your job, but how come you don't think you don't want to lose your family? That's your question. The family that you come home to is less important than the job that you go out to. Anyway, that's another story for another day, right? Men too, and I'm not just getting on females. It's an example. Men too. So we have to understand that we have to shift our perception. We have to shift the way we think. We have to shift our intellect. It's okay to be intelligent. It's okay to make smart decisions. It's okay to look outside of what he told you things are. It's okay to look outside of what the one book that you're reading says. It's okay to listen to what other cultures say, just to hear it, just to know it, just to say, okay, because if you actually study them, Bibi Marimba Annie said, we are the only people who don't get to study them. They know everything about us. Think about it. They know what you're searching on the internet. They know your favorite foods because you're looking up how to cook this, how to cook that. They know the food you like. They know the shows you like. They know the comedy you like. They know what you like to buy for your children. They know every single thing about you, but you know nothing about them. And that's why you can't see racism, white supremacy. That's why you can't identify it. That's why you're calling truth a liar. That's why what's true seems strange. They say truth is often stranger than fiction. That's why truth seems stranger than fiction, because you believe him before you study him, before you study how he thinks, before you study the way that this society is constructed, before you study the way that the Bible is constructed. Nobody said there's a problem with the Bible. There's nothing wrong with the Bible, the Quran, the Torah. We said it's not the scriptures, it's the misinterpretation, the mistranslation, the wrong chronological order. That's the problem. Because we're not taking time to look at how it's being misinterpreted. We're not taking time to look at the language. We're not taking time. See, my teacher, Haru Hoteptar, he says we have to look at everything. Typography, geography, anatomy, physiology, migrations, and linguistics. We look at everything. And we look at it from African eyes. I'm not looking at it from European eyes. I'm not looking at it from Canaanite eyes. I'm not looking at it from Arabs' eyes, Chinese eyes. I will study them, but only study them to know who I'm dealing with. I will only study him to know who I'm around. I will only study him to know how this system is constructed. But I'm not studying him to be him. I'm studying him so I can be better in my skin. So I can be better in navigating this world until we come out of her, my people. Be not partakers of their iniquities or receive of their plagues. I don't want to receive of their plagues. I don't want to receive of their iniquities. So I'm going to come out of her. But guess what? In order to teach my people, my children, I have to study them. But guess what? I can still look at the Bible through African eyes and say, no, this is what this means. No, this is the African Messiah. Yeshua Christ. He looks like this. He doesn't look like this. The Bible says in Revelations 1:12 through 15, he's a man with woolly hair. It says feet of fine burnt brass. The sound of many waters, that deep voice. It says it in Daniel 7:9. It says the description of this man. If we look in the language, but people will argue with you about that, but they didn't argue this. Why didn't they argue this man? Why when you show this man, The black man, they argue. But when they seen this man, why didn't they say, where was that in the Bible? Where that's at? I didn't hear nobody ask those questions. But because he manipulated your imagination, his interpretation seems real for you to think that God is something that he's not. Or maybe God is exactly what he's saying it is, but it's the God of this world, which is the devil. 2 Corinthians 4:4, Satan, the God of this world, is the devil. That's the God that he is. But you believe that that God is the Most High. So you replace the Most High with the God of this world being the devil. You replace the Most High, the one who's been with you the whole time, and you give his credit to the other one. You give his credit to the devil, the one that's been truly raising you, that conscious in you, that told you what you did was wrong, that consciousness in you that still has you standing here today, the consciousness in you that you could have been dead 10 years ago, you could have been in prison 10 years ago, you put yourself in places you should have been in, but that consciousness in you that allowed you to rise above it, you giving that credit that came from the Most High to the white man, you giving that credit to the devil, you giving that credit to the God of this world. And that's the problem. And you don't see the evil because it's so normal, and you've taken on his imagination so much that you believe it. And everything I say, anything of consciousness says, anything of intellect says, the Bible says, seek and you shall know. It says that we suffer for a lack of knowledge. Seek it from the cradle to the grave. But we seek it and we stop short. We stop short of what he told us. We won't go any further to know anything else. And that's the problem. I'm sorry, I'm on one today. I'm sorry. I pray that this, I'm not yelling at nobody. I'm just passionate because I love our people and I want us to do better. And I believe in the Most High, but I believe in the Most High for what it is. And I know the portion of the Most High is in me and in you and in us. And together we can do better. Peace and love.